everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty, pretty, pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand, head to the floor, and we gon' dance. And when we get there, best believe we're gonna do a two-step. Ain't no drama in here, so don't stress. Step to the right, then side to the left. Yeah.
Good evening, welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great Monday. Hopefully it'll be better for you right now. Tonight we're back with the latest in movie reviews, sports, fashion, the best indie music out there. Now, later in the show we welcome Melody Holt. She's from the OWN TV reality show, Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's just wrapped up first season. Then in Hot Topics, D Venable D Lane from the newly formed IG discussion page, Husband Material, joins us to help us weigh on everything in Hot Topics. We're talking about R. Kelly, Jussie Smollett, just everything that's going on. Then, I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course, our official website, thestephenknightshow.com. You can also check us out on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and our T-shirts. Our T-shirts are still at sale at thestephenknightshow.com. Check them out. Listen, when we come back, Hot Topics, right back after this.
Music machine, lyrics.
This that bang right here, K.
Yeah, boy.
Word. Look.
Do you think?
Look. The product of housing tenements. Try blending with the innocent. Yeah. It's to the moon like we chasing stars. Drinks in the air, we about to raise the bar. High Valerian can speak it, then can eat with us. Dwayne Martin, these is just some seat fillers. Teach, level up there, see the growth. Cryptocurrency, bitcoins to who need the most. Look. Was quick to want squeeze the toast. These days, got my bread till I see a loaf. Greedy, couple plates, we gon' eat the most. Point game, if we trail, at least we keep it close. Sipping toast, sipping in moderation. It was written in a proclamation. My obligation to the fairest the will. Give food for thought till they cherish the meal. Swerve it and pill. Chicks, notice the squad. I ain't talking foreign exchange when I study abroad. Know the facade. Got us lunching up an Olive Garden. Talking about portfolios and profit margins. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. Deep slumber, sleep till we see numbers. In the vision, seen it like Steve Wonder. Each summer hit a monetary apex. Lifestyle's much more than having safe sex. Strategic talks, dudes who don't pay checks. That's starving, only getting a taste test. Hood the sorest, finish wines imported. Learn the game from ballers that stay scoreless. Rap my, we paint portraits. Spitting riddles like we socially awkward. Pyrex jaws to the corporate office. Catapulted movements was flawless. We about to take a sabbatical. Got the brand, the crown's just collateral. We patrolling different avenues. Life's a bitch, used to wanna marry you. Look, it's kinda hard to think practical. Think it's simple to new rational. Lack of aptitude, now me down the Georgia Shore. Authoritative, if you spill it, then it's word be law. Coded language, shit you never heard before. Verbal onslaught, like, what do you wanna hurt me for? Dig, I'm a lyrical enthusiast. Mumble rap, me these niggas with a crucifix. We used to listen with exuberance. Think they bars coming from a lack of tutelage. Throwing jabs like a pugilist. Not the best, I suggest you go review your list. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimal.
We're finally here.
Talk to him, K.
We're finally here.
Boy, lyrics, man. K Black the music machine.
We're finally here.
Feeling this.
We're finally here.
Oh yeah.
our future. Tell me, are you supposed to be by my side? I'm blinded by all the gray. Maybe I can see a face. My questions need answers. Tell me, do we go or do we stay? Baby, do you see forever? Will we be together? Do you leave my heart cold? Do I leave you open, hurting, heartbroken? Do we stay or do we go? I guess we'll never You can't deny me. I know it's love, but always settling. Is that enough? Guess we'll never So now I'm here, crossroads, don't know which move to make. Never expected to be unsure about our fate. So I ask you to please tell me, do we give love one more try? Let go and just move on. Keep the memories, just say goodbye. Do you see forever? Will we be together? Do you leave my heart cold? Baby, do I leave you open, hurting, heartbroken? Do we stay or do we go? Guess we'll never know. You can't deny me. I know it's love, but always settling. Is that enough? I guess we'll never know. We've been through this long enough. It's like we just can't get it right. But if it's gonna work, we have to decide. Do we stay together? Do we stay together? Do we say goodbye? Do you see forever? Will we be together? Do you leave my heart cold? Do I leave you open, hurting, heartbroken? Do we stay or do we go? I guess we'll never know. We'll never know. You can't deny me. I know it's love, but are we settling? Is that enough? I guess we'll never know.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Miss Parker, how's it going?
Happy Monday. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How was your weekend?
It was great. You know, I never had a bad weekend. So,
Right.
My first weekend back from Costa Rica.
Yeah. How was your trip?
Got back on Wednesday. It was good. It's a beautiful country. You just need more than 5 days. You need maybe 2 weeks to see it all. So we're definitely going to go back, but it was an amazing trip, and got back on Wednesday, got back to work, and the weekend came pretty quickly.
Yeah, which is
and
good.
had a little bit of a birthday brunch yesterday, so that was good.
Yeah, I started to come out, and I was coming, but you know what happened? I thought about it. I said, I have a doctor's appointment today. And if I go there turning up, hookah, drinking, Nigga think something wrong with me when I go to my doctor's appointment, so that's why that was the end.
Oh my God! So you thought one day of turning up of all the other days that you do just that.
The day before, but the day before the doctor's appointment, I always keep it clean. I don't want them looking at me sideways, and I'm detoxing. And I went to the gym this morning. You know, I don't get up early on Monday, but I got to the gym this morning. I was ready for them, but I had a good appointment. But let me tell you something that did happen. So when I got to the doctor's office, I was going up, and there was this older white lady. She, you could tell she probably was a patient, and then they had a black woman who was probably around my age, and you could tell that she was like kind of escorting her, and she had actually brought her to the appointment. Well, the white lady says to the black girl, "Are you sure that's your real hair?" And the black girl, she says, "Yes." She said, "Looks kind of silky to me." She said in front of everyone.
Well, why did she ask about her hair? I missed that part.
I don't know. She just said, I was standing there waiting, and all I heard was, "Are you sure that's your real hair?" The girl looked disgusted, but you could tell she was at work. But the girl did have on a wig, though.
I am disgusted. And then she said, "Look kind of shaky to me."
She think kind of silky.
Oh, silky.
I was crying. Anyway, Chike, what's going on with you?
Hey, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I cannot complain. This daylight savings is messing with me, but I'm getting through it. How was your weekend?
Yeah. The weekend was pretty good. Coworker had a party over the weekend, so I turned up a little bit. A little something.
Yeah. Can't beat that. Well, we have two special guests with us joining for Hot Topics. D Lane was actually joined us last week, but him and D Venable, they actually have a blog. Well, it's an Instagram page called Husband Material. And so I'll let you guys tell us about the page. Go ahead. Start with you, D Venable.
Husband Material. So it was birthed about, I would say, 2 weeks ago. But our conversations have been going on for probably over 20 years. So some of the conversations that me and Dwayne have on the phone, like on a daily basis, we debate what's ever in like the news cycle that day. Mm-hmm. And the reason I wanted to name it Husband Material is because it has a double meaning. Like sometimes when you go to the barbershop, you hear barbershop talk.
Yeah.
Most of the time you go to barbershop, we're talking about sports, LeBron mostly, and things like that.
Right.
So I wanted to step outside of that and talk about current events because I feel like in arenas like a barbershop or even social media, sometimes like your page is one of the pages that talk about all current events and not just celebrities.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
So that's one meaning. And the second meaning, I mean, I feel like I'm a husband material, so.
Well, hey, you got to be your biggest cheerleader. No, that's what's up. And D Lane, thank you again for joining us tonight. Now, he was kind of mild last week, so we'll see what he brings tonight. But I was waiting for it because I've had conversations with D Lane. And Ms. Parker, I don't know if you remember, we saw it be in group emails back in the day with Brittany and Pansy and all them. And D Lane was the one that was always stirring the pot a little bit. But, we'll see what happens.
I remember.
I tell the truth.
Yeah.
I just tell the truth. I'm going to have a glass of wine right now. So I'm going to get my life right.
Oh, Lord.
I can't curse somebody out today in a work meeting, so I'm ready.
I'm keep my hand on the censor button. Well, our question of the day is, if you heard a rumor that your significant other was cheating on you, would you confront your partner or do you do your own research to confirm? Ms. Parker.
You know what? I think communication is really key in relationships. So I think you should go to the person, or I would go directly to the person. But I think everyone knows who they have. I think people are aware when their partners are not being faithful or when things are going on. So, but I still communicate directly with the person.
Okay. Chike?
I would sit back and watch action. I don't think I would do anything. I don't think I would say anything. it's also, you have to consider the source. Who told you?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a reliable source that told me, I still probably wouldn't confront. I would just chill and watch.
Okay.
Because actions always show. It all comes out in the wash in the end.
That is true. What about you, D Venable?
I'm a firm believer in doing my own research. Just like they say, like the person that's bringing the information to you, if you really don't know, when you get information from a third party, in a relationship, I don't think you should trust it.
Yeah.
And what Ms. Parker said, I actually tried the communication thing last night, and that was kind of refreshing for the first time in my life. But,
first time?
I still do my own.
What about you, D Lane?
First, I want to say, black men don't cheat. That's number one.
Okay.
But I am a firm believer that you must find out your own information. I do like to do my due diligence and researching everything. I can't just go off of your word because I don't know what your intent is. Why are you telling me this? What are you gaining from it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it depends on, again, the source, and but I think, like Ms. Parker said, typically you already know, or you have an inkling of something's going on behind your back in most cases. So, like she said, you know who you have. So, I don't know. I've never been one to do research, but that's why maybe I've been single so long. But anyway, so tweet us at Stephen Knight Show, SHO, and let us know if you heard a rumor about your significant other that was cheating on you. Would you confront your partner, or do you do your research? The reason this question came up is because, as you know, over the weekend, Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod, they got engaged. Well, Jose Canseco, who he was a baseball player, professional baseball player, who I think he had some controversy with some steroids or something like that. Anyway, he took to Twitter over the weekend and pretty much said that J-Lo doesn't really know A-Rod and that he's cheating on her with his ex-wife. He said that he was with his ex-wife when A-Rod called her, and he was saying stop. He had random tweets. Stop cheating on J-Lo. Told J-Lo, put his number out there. Give me a call. I can give you the details and whatnot. And so that's why the question came up. Would you, if you were Jennifer Lopez, would you find out what's going on, or would you go straight to A-Rod? What are your thoughts on that? I know we just kind of talked about it. What are your thoughts on this situation with them specifically? Ms. Parker?
I just think it's so tacky. He could have privately dealt with that. Obviously, if it's his ex-wife, his feelings are still involved with her, else he wouldn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just tacky. I think that, if he wanted to at least let Jennifer know, he could have done so privately. Now you're embarrassing her, her family.
Yep.
And I don't know if she doesn't deserve that. So, and if it is true, she really doesn't deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's tacky.
Okay. Chica.
So what it seems to me as if dude wants to get back with his ex-wife, and A-Rod is the problem. And he has no other recourse but to go about it the bitch-ass way he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's tacky, is low class, and you could do better. But I guess he has no other recourse. What else can he do?
Yeah. Venable?
I kind of feel the same, that Jose Canseco is lonely right now. Like, Alex Rodriguez has really he took the home run title from Jose Canseco. He allegedly messed with his ex-wife, and now he has J-Lo. So I think he's just bitter.
Yeah. What about you, Lane?
Misery loves company, so we all know Jose Canseco's a miserable man right now. And when you're miserable, you get desperate. So he's just pulling that stuff to try to make others miserable. I mean, if there's real evidence, I'm sure it'll come out. Ask Tristan.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's Tristan. Yeah, I think if he was really legit concerned for Jennifer Lopez, he wouldn't have tweeted it. He would have found a way to reach out to her directly, or found a way of getting to her so it's not so public. Because what you did, really, you took you know, it's supposed to be an exciting time in her life. You kind of taking it to the public, and I think if I was Jennifer, I wouldn't discuss it with him. I would, you know, obviously address it with A-Rod and kind of take it from there. But that's kind of messy. That's real messy, that situation right there. All right,
I wonder too, like why now, Jose?
Right,
they've been dating for a while. So
2 years. Yep, exactly. Why now? Why now? There's some messy people out there. Well, your boy R. Kelly. So I know everyone saw the interview with Gayle King, which, by the way, I think she did an amazing job keeping her calm, keeping her composure in that interview. Before we get into the child support situation, what do you think he was trying to gain from doing that interview? Anyone want to chime in?
I think he was trying to be relatable. He was trying to appeal to the human side, and he got caught up. He got too emotional. Like he said in the interview, he has never vented his side before, and they gave him a really big platform to actually do that, and he lost control. And you can tell that he wasn't coached beforehand, or if he was, it all went out the window when his emotions kicked in.
That's true. That's true. Anyone else?
I think he was trying to. I think he was desperate. I think when you're in a desperate position, you do desperate things. So I don't.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure even if he really had a goal. I think he just was desperate and wanted to somehow felt like he could convince the public otherwise. And, and so it wasn't a thought out. I don't think it was a thought out process on his end or his team's end, because obviously if he's desperate, his team is desperate, right? They're pulling for things to help their case. So I just don't think it was.
And I think he's broken too.
Yeah. But I mean, I can't. I'm sorry. My level of compassion for him is not very high. In that, you know, with what he is being accused of is what he's done for years. He damaged a lot of people's lives for years. Because sexual abuse is not a one victim a crime. It doesn't just affect that one person. It affects their kids. It's a generational crime. And I'm very passionate about that. So my level of compassion is very low for him.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Well, I think I have I don't know, maybe it's an unpopular opinion about this whole situation. You know, I see everyone, you know, chanting, you know, mute R. Kelly. But if you're a parent who allowed this, if it's true, and the man's not been convicted of anything, he's just been accused. So if you are, as a parent, allowed this to happen, knowing that he had a particular reputation, you know, maybe you should be charged. I mean, for child neglect, because basically you put your child in a situation that allowed this to happen.
Maybe even child endangerment.
Yeah. I mean, but again, we seek justice for children, and I agree. If you hurt a kid, I'm big on, you know, you receiving what you need to get. But I don't know if every person in this situation is a child. I think that R. Kelly, he's probably one of the smartest, if he is a criminals that we know. I mean, if you call yourself the Pied Piper publicly, like you tell people what you do and what you are, and we've all listened to his music and we still listen to it. Even if you don't listen to it directly, you're listening to it indirectly because he's written so many songs. So muting R. Kelly is going to be very, very, very difficult.
I mean, I think that something is hard doesn't excuse that. It should not take away from your personal responsibility to have some type of moral fabric against, you know, surrounding it. Like to have your sin. Just because everybody else, may not be on that level or it may not work doesn't mean that you personally or I personally can't take a stand and say, you know what, I'm not going to support this man in any way. But I think you made a good point that parents allow their children to be with this man. Maybe there is some accountability there. No one is saying otherwise. I don't think the argument is that they're blameless. But that's like telling a woman who's been raped that she shouldn't have been drinking. It's no matter what she did that night, she shouldn't have been raped. You know what I mean? So no matter who left their kids with who, if he wasn't a pedophile, he wouldn't touch them. Men who don't like kids are safe. The kids are safe at all times. So
I understand that.
For his actions 100%, period.
I agree with you I agree with you there. But I'm a parent, and I have sons. And if my sons, if Michael Jackson was accused of anything or of sexual molestation of little boys, there's no way in hell that I'm going to let my son spend the night at Neverland. So again, if you had a daughter and she could sing, is R. Kelly the only means of her career making that you can find? So, like I said,
a valid point. I get that.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, if he's found guilty of the crime, I agree. He needs to receive everything that he gets. But I can't say without evidence because if they had evidence, the man would be in jail. If the man's a child predator, he would be in jail. Arresting someone means nothing.
That's not really true. There's a lot of child predators walking around. We both know that.
Yeah, I mean, Gail King was photographed smiling with a big one, Harvey Weinstein. Right. I can't wait. She needs to do that interview. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand all these side conversations surrounding R. Kelly. In the black community, we can say white people are predators and they're not getting the justice due to them. We can have those same conversations and yet still protect our children and say, no, we love black men, we support black men, but we won't support this black man. We don't condone this. He was a great artist, and he is a great artist. He's a legend of what he does. He's accomplished all those things. Both can be true. He can be legendary in the musical, arena and a child predator at the same time. We don't have to choose. People can be great at who they are, accomplishment, and still not be a good person. I saw the conversation around it. Well, this person did it. He didn't get punished. It doesn't excuse the fact that in the black community we put people on pedestals and we don't want to take them down no matter what they do. And I will never be black enough to support a black man who is a pedophile ever in life. Ever. I agree with you 110%. That's why I guess Tom Joyner blocked me because he started the mute R. Kelly. But I said, are you going to mute Marvin Gaye as well? Because he's also a child predator. I don't care if he's dead. He did the same thing as R. Kelly. So, like I said, we've done this. Like I said, if he's guilty, he needs to burn in hell. But like I said, I think a lot of this was for the Lifetime story. It was all about money for whoever was doing these interviews. But now, like I said, I gotta wait on all the evidence. The man found guilty. Cool.
I think for me, what's interesting about this particular case is the fact that there are now three videos of him on tape having sex with children. And I know the one that came out back in, I think it was 2002. I had a copy of it. I couldn't even watch the whole thing, but I remember looking at that girl and seeing how underdeveloped she was. That's how you knew she was a young girl. Yeah. And so it's not like there's no evidence that he's done this, because it's on tape. It's on tape, and he recorded it.
So one of the things that I think is going on with this particular situation, I think it's a duality happening. Yes, he committed crimes, because I think that he's guilty as hell. It's just my opinion.
I do too.
But there's this other thing that's happening with the black men in this country that happen to have money and power. And they find a way to squeeze you until you break. They did the same thing to Bill Cosby. They did the same thing to O.J. They tried to do the same thing to Mike till they drove him to death, and now they're doing the same thing to R. Kelly. Like I said, I think that he is guilty as hell, my own personal opinion. And they're using, that hole of guilty to now destroy him. And I guess the part that I have issue with is how they love to tear down our images or our powerful black men. And I understand that they're guilty and they do things, but the other part about that is we cannot have a positive black male role model at all. They won't allow it to happen. Everyone, they tear them down.
That's ridiculous, Chike. That's ridiculous. Because you
think it's ridiculous?
Who made himself. Yes, you're victimizing someone who is a perpetrator of their own crime. Like,
Miss Parker can't hear you. Miss Parker.
Well, she's laying me out and I can't hear her.
We can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay. So we can't allow this to be our thought process that black men who are committing crimes, no matter how powerful they are, that somehow that excuses them from what they've done. You can't say, well, he's guilty.
I'm not saying that he's excused.
He's not a positive role model. He's guilty. I don't give a damn what he's done. He's not a positive role model. He's guilty. There are men like Obama. He can choose to be a good person. You can choose to be a good person and be powerful and be an image that our children will look up to. President Obama. There have been many black men who have done that and are doing that. But they don't get enough credit for that because they're not at the level of R. Kelly or at the level of Michael Jackson or whatever. We have men in our lives, in our kids' lives, mentoring, going above and beyond to help inner city kids, everyday men who deserve those titles. Great black
I'm
men.
giving you that. That's granted. But my point isn't those men. I'm speaking of iconic ones, like the ones I just mentioned. And I'm not excusing what they did at all. I'm just talking about the system and how they work on these type of men to break them down. Whereas though, like you have a Harvey Weinstein, we still have yet to hear what's going on with this man. They're not squeezing him down. They're not breaking him. They're not making him atone for all the things that he's done. We haven't heard anything about Harvey. Nothing happened to Elvis when he married that woman, when he was living with her before he even got married. Jerry Lee Lewis, nothing happened to him.
Well, we have black men who were doing that back then too. So the whole Harvey Weinstein thing, I think we just don't keep up with it as much because it's not directly affecting us. But
Michelle,
the judge, yes. On Friday, the judge refused to drop any of the charges. He wanted I think he had 68 counts. He wanted half those charges dropped, and they refused to. So there are things going on with his case as well. But I think we have to stop saying, but we can say, okay, well, he was great at what he did as a physician. But who he is as a person is not a reflection of what we want to represent our community, period. Anyway, so I don't care if his hands down or not. He could have chosen to be a legendary, iconic person and a good person at the same time, but he didn't choose that. So he wasn't that damn concerned about his legacy. If he was, he wouldn't have been doing what he was doing. So we're more concerned about how we see him than how he sees himself or how he carries himself or the choices that he makes.
I think
we have to, in the black community, allow people to be accountable for their actions. We have to do that. And I understand black men have been victimized in this country for so long that it's an instinct to protect themselves, to protect each other, because we are still victims, and you guys, number one, still a victim of the system. I get that. We can have all those conversations and still say R. Kelly is a piece of shit. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
So speaking of accountability, this is one of the things that I have an issue with when it comes to the R. Kelly situation. Again, if he's guilty, he's guilty. Like somebody said earlier, he was charged before. They had a video before, way back in the day, and he got off. Mm-hmm. Somehow he got off. But accountability, the people that are bringing these tapes to the feds or whoever they're bringing them to, shouldn't they be held or shouldn't something be brought up against them for having child pornography in their possession? Like, you've had these tapes for years, and I'm sure you watched these tapes. You recently had to watch it to turn it over to the police. So they possess this stuff, and it's child pornography. So why are charges being brought up against these people?
Well, the gentleman
exactly. As long as he's going in there with them.
Well, the gentleman who had the most recent tape, he said that he's a sports fanatic. He found this old thing of cassette tapes. I mean, VHS tapes, and so he saw one and it had some sports game on it. Then it had R. Kelly's name. He thought it was an R. Kelly concert, and then he put it in and he saw what it was, and he said he took it out and he was going to throw it away. His wife said, "No, you need to turn that into the FBI." And so that was his story, at the press conference.
Hey Steve, you ever been to Chicago? I know you've been to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I've been to Chicago, right? And outside of their train station, like when I first got there, it was a dude who had like the 3 cards, right? He was like, pick the card.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically it was a scheme.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was because he knew where he was gonna put the card at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with this is like a card game. This like everything's a card game in this country. So the biggest stories, and I posted this earlier, the biggest story last week, in the beginning of the week, was Mr. Cohen and his testimony against our president.
Right.
Your president. But that was the biggest story. And then 2 days later, like it was everywhere. And then all of a sudden, you don't even hear about it anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
Right.
What happened to it? Because they know that it's just like with the fashion industry. Black people spend the most money on clothes. We gotta look fly. We're the biggest consumers of anything, including social media. So the way that we can get rid of this whole story is to say, hey, you know what? A man all of a sudden, 30 years, 25 years later, finds a VHS and says, "Oh my God, this is an R. Kelly video." Really?
Yeah, but the thing is, the Cohen case is not going away. That's still an ongoing case is going on. They were just talking about it, how he supposedly asked Trump for a pardon. So they're still talking about it. But I think what it is with R. Kelly is he's had decades and decades of allegations against him. Even from marrying Aaliyah at 15.
So has Donald Trump.
I agree. Yeah, but they're on him too. It's not like they're not on Donald Trump now. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me. We as people, we as black people, we love to roast our own people first.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. I think society does. I don't think black people do. I think society does, like the powers that be. I don't think black people like roasting our own.
I can go on Facebook or on my Instagram, and I can see everybody who I follow that's white versus everybody I follow who's black, and who has an R. Kelly meme or who has a Mike Jordan meme or whatever meme there is out.
R. Kelly is. They're not a part of their culture. It's
a
cultural thing too.
They don't know who he is. Exactly. They don't know who he is, but yet they know who I know a lot of people. I went to a predominantly white school, and I don't see any of these people saying, "Oh, this person's a bad guy." You know who these people are: Harvey Weinstein, Donald Trump. What's my man? My man who was what's the actor's name? I can't think of his name. I can see his face.
Oh, Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. You can, all these people, they know who they are. They know who they are, but they're not talking about them. We are going to keep this in the news as long as we can. We're going to make memes about it.
I cannot believe you said that. So you want us to not talk about R. Kelly because white people don't talk about their perpetrators.
I'm
not saying you're becoming. I've seen black people have been victimized, so white people still merge their turning into white people. Like mentality-wise, like you're saying, let the crime go. That's what they do. That's what they do.
No. You got me all wrong. If when he's guilty, when he's found guilty, yes, he needs to be dragged guilty. But let the man have due process. Like I said, we as people.
Well, that's fair.
We, like I said, that's all we're doing is due process. Nobody gives blame people.
And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they know that it's all about court of public opinion. If court of public opinion says that R. Kelly is guilty and he did it, that's what's going to happen, because that's how they're angling it. They're already playing this out in the media and everything already. We know how this is going to go. If he gets off this time, I will be totally surprised.
No, I don't think he's getting off this time. But
no, because they annexed him.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention before we go to break real quick about the R. Kelly case. So you all know he was arrested for the sexual assault charges, and bail was at $100,000. A woman who he doesn't even know, who lives in Chicago, she bailed him out. Then he was arrested a few days later on back child support, and the bail was $160,000, and another woman bailed him out. And so he was saying the reason why he hasn't paid his child support, his excuse for not paying his child support, even though he told Gayle King he wants to have a relationship with his children, he stopped paying child support because he was doing despite his ex-wife Drea, who he says has brainwashed his kids. I don't know. This, for me, I don't have nothing for R. Kelly. Watching his interviews, watching his arrogant personality in the midst of all this. Because my thing, if I'm being accused of these kind of allegations and I didn't do it, I wouldn't be at a birthday party, singing performing. I wouldn't be doing all this stuff, bringing attention to myself. I wouldn't go to McDonald's when I got out of court, out of jail, the same McDonald's is saying that he would try to get young girls at. But enough about R. Kelly. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back.
Wait. Stephen, can I just say this before we go to break?
Sure.
Jussie Smollett was big in the news too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about him.
R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about them. I'm just bringing up these cases and these distractions that are happening. And I don't know if the masses know that they passed a law in Illinois that it is a felony to film a police officer.
To do exactly. What? It's a felony to do what?
Film a police officer.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
That's interesting. All right. Well, listen, quick break. We'll be right back after this.
John Dummy make the beat and I'm gon' keep it.
Yeah. I wrote this song for you, girl. What up, baby? Yeah, she got good, no feelings. Good, with no feelings. Good, with no feelings. Good, with no feelings. I be thinking about the when I'm dealing. Got me all in my feelings. Good, with no feelings. Shorty, put your hands to the ceiling. Good, she don't blow it, the phone up. She from the hood, but handle shit just like a grown up. She even chill, yeah, the can get her own bucks. She got a car, got a crib, got her own stuff. So good, she got me own stuff. Her attitude make a nigga on her. My niggas always asking where her home girls. Got a nigga send a text like when you gon' cut. She gon' treat a nigga like a option. She don't give a about me poppin'. I'ma be the that we boxing. She don't sell no like a auction. But she gon' still like you with a cash at. Her Instagram bio is a cash at. I think I really like her cause I heard fat. Got it like what you wearing? She got good, no feelings. Good, with no feelings. Good, with no feelings. Good, with no feelings. I be thinking about the when I'm dealing. Got me all in my feelings. Good, with no feelings. Shorty, put your hands to the ceiling. She done got her heart broke for the last time. She done get her broken her last time. Now she drink, now she smoke just to pass time. She looking for no nigga, it's a bad time. FaceTime a nigga when it's bad time. She got the iPhone and she got the trap line. Tell her no when I exit the cat mine. But I still kid her till it's flat line. Shorty fine as a but she heartless. She gon' talk to them niggas with the harshness. Back it up like a truck, baby, park it. If the ain't good, then she garbage. She don't need a nigga for a damn thing. Pull a nigga quick like a hamstring. So good it make a man sing. Got me writing song, that's a damn shame. She got good, no feelings. Good, with no feelings. Good, with no feelings. Good, with no feelings. I be thinking
this end, yeah. Oh, alone now, just have to face the world alone. Without your shoulder here to lean on, and not exactly what I had in mind. And I'm fighting all alone, knowing that you were gone. Here I am. Is that the way it should be? Oh yeah. And then I face it all alone, lingering on in my head. And your memory's still here, and that's what keeps me alive. Oh yeah, I'm here. Not exactly what I want, but I'm here. And I just have to let go of my fears and give it all again. Yeah. Baby, listen. There is something you should know. Can you hear me? That loving you was all I had, and not exactly what you had in mind. And I'm fighting all alone, knowing that you were gone. That you were gone. Here I am. Is that the way it should be? And then I face it all alone, lingering on in my head. And your memory's still here, and that's what keeps me alive. It's over. Those words still ringing in my head, and I'm still spinning in my bed. How long will this end? Oh.
Hey, this is your girl Melody Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville, and you are listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
All right, welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephennightshow.com. You can also check us out on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Just go to our website, stephennightshow.com. All right, so check this story out. A mother of 5, she's 28 years old. She was charged with child abandonment after a beach trip. So she's from Texas, has 5 kids ranging from 15 months to 12 years old. She leaves them to go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She says she was going to investigate an employment opportunity, but she stayed there several days with some man. And so the police were called by the kids' school because the teacher started noticing the kids complaining about having to stay up late changing diapers, and they just felt something wasn't right at home. So they sent the police out to the home, and they were living by themselves. There was dirty diapers in the closet. There were stains on the ground, flies in the kitchen. It's just an unkept place. So they have removed the kids out of, put them in Child Protective Services, but then later gave them back to relatives, not the mom. If the mom is convicted, she faces 2 to 20 years in prison. What do you think her what do you think her punishment should be, Miss Parker?
That's just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't need to have children.
Yeah. Yep.
I think your kids need to be placed somewhere else. Hopefully, they have a loving family member that doesn't mind taking them in. Find a loving father home. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve that.
Yeah.
It's just I just understand how people, when people have children, I don't think it's really a thought out process of how much of a responsibility, not only to themselves, but to the children and to society. You're raising people who are going to be a part of our society, and what type of person do you want to raise? What type of person do you want them to be? What kind of trauma do you want them to go into adulthood having to heal from? That's saddening to me. That's why would have their children knowingly in that condition. I don't know what her punishment should be, but I think the kids should be taken away.
You think she should do jail time?
I don't know if that's going to help anything. Put somebody in jail, and then what? I just think her kids, she doesn't deserve to have those children.
Yeah. Chica?
Just like she left those kids, they need to leave her in a dark, cold, dank cell.
You think she could face 2 to 20 years in prison? What do you think
15 would be nice. 15 is nice.
Yeah. What about you, Venable?
From her statement, what she said, because she needed to get away from everything that was happening at home.
Yeah.
It seems like to me she already felt like she was in jail, so she was breaking loose.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel in this situation, like Michelle said, everybody does not need to have kids.
That's true.
And I heard a statement all the time: you don't have kids, you wouldn't understand. You don't have to have children to understand. Have common sense.
Yeah.
And I really feel like a good punishment for her would be that every female that cannot have a child biologically should get in a room with her and everybody get one lick.
Yeah, they said she had, the youngest was 15-month-old, and they said she had knives around the house where the kids could access them.
And then, you know what, wait a minute, Stevie, there's another thing, too. I mean, she could be in postpartum. Not that I'm making excuses for her.
Yeah.
But when women have postpartum, they do, insane things. So she may need mental, help. She may need to go see a therapist.
That's a good point.
I have a question about the timeline, because it said they visited the home in late August, and she was arrested on February 11th.
Yeah. I guess they're doing an investigation, because they said that the affidavit showed that she had gone to the beach and visited different tourist locations with a male friend. So maybe they were doing an investigation during this time, but I don't think she had the kids with her when. I think the kids were already removed from the home when she was arrested. That's crazy. D Lane, you're a father. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I do. I don't think putting fathers in jail for child support does anything. I don't think jail time for this woman is going to do anything for her, but make taxes go up. So. Unless they're giving her the death penalty, I feel like she needs help mentally. I think we're quick to throw people in jail, and that's always not the case. I think maybe she needs to be committed to a mental institution, because you're leaving children.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of compassion for children, but there's no way I can have more compassion than a mother, because I know my father could beat my ass and my mother would probably cry and my father would go about his business.
Yeah.
So I know that she needs help. She needs mental help. I think jail is an appropriate punishment for her.
Yeah. That actually makes sense. I think, it is, because it's quick to throw someone in and lock the key, throw away the key. I think mental evaluation and mental treatment is definitely required, especially, you leave a 15-month-old at home, while you're at the beach. And it's
That's why I said postpartum, because that child was so young.
Yeah, and she was in Texas. This is to South Carolina. It's not like it was like, that's not an excuse either, but it's not like she was like an hour away. She was... there was a distance. So, there's something off there. Definitely.
The sad thing about this story, I really feel like nothing's going to happen. She's going to get probation. For example, the the child care worker that hung the child and then ran over somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yep. She got probation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, well, last story, your boy Jussie Smollett, he's indicted on 16 felony counts. So it says the Empire actors had been indicted on 16 felony counts in connection to his alleged false hate crimes report. CBS Chicago reports that a grand jury returned the disorderly conduct indictment on Thursday. All of the false reports of offenses charges are Class 4 felonies. Now, Jussie was originally only facing a single count of felony disorderly conduct for filing a false police report, which could carry a 3-year sentence plus fines. This comes after Chicago PD announced that they are conducting an internal investigation into the leaks surrounding the case. They admit that some of the leaked information was not factually accurate. Jussie will be arraigned on March 14th. And the news apparently came as a surprise to his legal team, who had no idea this was happening. Many people aren't thinking he's not going to do any jail time, even if he is found guilty on all of these. Do you think he should do jail time if he is found guilty of these 16 counts? Ms. Parker?
I mean, yeah. If he's, I don't know about jail time. No, I don't think jail time. I think, honestly, I think that there's a lot of, here's a situation where we can go back to what you guys talked about earlier, where the justice system's not always aligned and equal, and we know that. There's been white girls who've lied about men being, raping them, black men raping them, and gotten off. So, no, I don't think jail time. I think he should probably just reimburse the city for the money they spent doing the investigation. And then maybe do some community service where he can be of value in some way to the city, and maybe mentoring kids or something like that. And that way he's able to pay for his mistake. But I don't think jail time is necessary for this. No.
Okay, Chica.
I think they should fine him out the wazoo, since his motive was, I guess, allegedly to have more money. They should hit him where it hurts. Since money is the root of the evil for him, they should hit him in his pocket deeply. I agree with Ms. Parker. He should pay. And then he should have community service.
Yeah, I agree with that. Venable?
I kind of feel like he needs some mental health as well. Because if that was his motive, if all of this is true, that was his motive, he wanted more money. Jussie, you're already making more money than a lot of people. Yeah. And so one of the hottest TV shows that's out there. I don't watch it, but from what I'm hearing, it's one of the biggest shows on Fox. So your time will come. Like you came from a family that are actors and actresses, so it takes time. It takes work to get to where you want to be. So I really, in this case though, I really feel like 16 felony counts is a little excessive.
I think so too.
Watch enough Law and Order to know that they're just throwing stuff out there to see what's going to stick.
What's going to stick? Yeah.
So if their case was that airtight against Jussie, then it wouldn't take that many counts to charge. Yeah.
And the irony is that they did this in retaliation to the investigation being done to the Chicago PD, I believe. Charm investigations being done. Lane, what are your thoughts?
Man, Carolyn Dunham, Emmett Till. I mean, until she's charged, shit like this doesn't matter to me. I understand, like I said before, he set back the certain communities, certain races. He set back. He set the culture back by pulling this stunt. But I don't think he should be charged with anything. Like I said, as long as this woman is not charged, and I'm a product of a man who was born. My father was born in 1922, so I'm a product of that type of racism that he dealt with. So he taught me a lot and what not to deal with. So again, Jussie's done a lot of dumb shit for black people, lesbian, gay community, and I know it's gonna hurt. But should he be charged for a crime? No. Should he do something to make it right? Sure. But I don't think he'd be charged until Carolyn Dunham's charged. And if she's not charged,
no.
that he could just be free. But I think he does need to make a statement, a public apology, because he did. I mean, he damaged a lot of people who are actually doing real hard work to make the country equal, everybody to have equal rights. Because even though you are considered a citizen of the United States of America, Stephen, you're still looked at as a second-class citizen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I do. Well, Empire comes back on this week, so I know they have cut out some of his scenes, and I know he's out the last 2 episodes of the season. And I've heard that people on the cast, they're torn. Some don't want to have anything to do with him. Some are supporting him. So we'll see how it plays out.
Bring back Jussie. I said, bring back Jussie. I don't watch the show, but bring him back.
Well, Derek and D Lane, D Venable, tell us again where we can keep up with the Instagram page.
You got a delay.
Oh, it's husband material EST, like established, 2019.
All right, and I went on there over the weekend, and it has really good posts, that makes you think. I definitely appreciate you all joining us tonight for these conversations. Ms. Parker, thank you for another great Hot Topics, and Chiki, I know y'all see your movie reviews. But everyone have a great week, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and we're right back after this.
You know about a guy, MC, sipping the yak and them bottles of Hennessy. I have no fear but love for my enemies. I knew this like a new bitch, so remember me. I part shit like Moses, that's the end of the sea. Pop out live like a vending machine. And I'm new and I'm trending the scene. Ay, I'm no Osiris to the shit, you're pretending to be me. MGS live like a LSW. Pop, pop, yeah, we trouble you. Glass of scotch coughing out that BMW. Pop, pop, yeah, we under you. Marvel Comics, yeah, we bring the thunder too. Thor cock the hammer, that's what I'm finna done to you. We branch out and none and raw, thunder under you. And I'm a motherfucking guy here in this Condrum school. Yeah. Hey, sing it. Yeah. We never told ya. Hey, verse 2, mellow. I'm living lavish, you feel the hunger do? The eye of horror scattered in my younger views. We ruffle you, we taking over like cocaine and baking soda. You can remain Jehovah, the game is over. We plain selling soldier, my name is Hover. The range is roller, we sprayed the rover. Maintain the cobra, my God suffers on a mission. And I ain't staying sober, my diamonds glistening. I'm in that prime position, that 9 milli clap like an encore. Shatter that face and all that contour. LA, baby, yeah, you know we on tour. California, baby, yeah, having a ball. No Dr. Dre, no Snoop, just Alizé. We in that coupe sipping on grandma's special soup. Illuminati through my body at the party on Bacardi. Kamikaze, have it largely, caviar in my scenario. I put on for my city, I put on for my team, I put on for my state. Yeah, it's a pity if you go against. We living great, like a Rockefeller, like Kennedy, we getting cake. Faded to be the king, yeah, we gon' let it ring. We gon' let that choir sing, yeah, MGS.
say we never told you. MGS, we're taking over.
Damn, B, hold up. Hello?
Product cooking in the bendo. Product cooking in the bendo. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. Product cooking in the bendo. Product cooking in the bendo. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old.
That product cooking in the bando. I keep a shooter, keep them hands low. Hop out that Ferrari like I'm Rambo. Say a prayer, your fam gon' have to light some candles. My hand on the work, I should have an office job. And I am the boss, so how you gon' cross the mob? Skeeter O'Neil, now that's what I call a lob. Covered with one of them, that's what I call a prob. I've been scooping in the Lambo. Pitching on my block while I'm the landlord. Pay your fee, that's what I stand for. I play the key, you take shots like the backboard. The day I punched in, I was born on a job. Now the inside guts look like corn on the cob. Food on the plate, catch you the dinner meal. Bowling like Centerfield. Please get this kid a meal.
Product cooking in the bendo. Product cooking in the bendo. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. Product cooking in the bendo. Product cooking in the bendo. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old.
I gave them more than they can ask for. Big stick, similar to Jim Duggan Axel. Big whips, call me SOR. Yeah, I'm that boy. SV, call him Escobar. With them tracks, boy. I can't say sorry, I make you fellows mad. And can't stop me, I'm like a yellow cab. And just for that, I might cop the yellow Jag. I never left, but it's like you could tell I'm back. Got about 220 on the dashboard. With a cup of Henny, that's the crash course. For the drop, I keep a mask for it. And the Glock, like I shot with the task force. I'm making my name, you should call me monumental. I studied the best, you can't even find a temple. Like I'm tapping them bags, every dime I mention. You can't even find a signal. You don't know the grind I meant to.
Product cooking in the bendo. Product cooking in the bendo. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. Product cooking in the bendo. Product cooking in the bendo. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old. I whip it up in the pot, I'm getting rid of them old.
Hey guys, this is Shane Moore, and we're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to The Stephen Knight Show. Our guest tonight can be seen each week on the OWN TV reality show Love and Marriage Huntsville. Please help me welcome Melody Holt. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited. You know, I happened to stumble across the show right when it started and have been watching it each week, and, you know, it's a great show. How did you get involved?
Well, so to be honest, about 4.5 years ago, my husband and I had an idea for a reality show here in Huntsville.
Mm-hmm.
So we met with one of the top producers, Carlos King, and we met with him, shared with him our treatment, our idea, our concept. And over the years, we pretty much just stayed in contact with him regularly, letting him know why Huntsville would be a great place to actually have a show based out of.
Yeah.
And so eventually, my husband and I put together a sizzle that included him, myself, our children, and some of our workers. Carlos loved it, okay? He loved it and was like, girl, yes, I want to send y'all a contract this week. I want to get y'all a show. I don't want you to talk to anybody else. Don't work with anybody else. I'm going to get you a show.
Wow.
And so that's really where it started. We signed a 1-year contract, which gave him the time frame to pitch the show. In the midst of that, he said, you know, I work with ensembles a lot. I get ensembles sold a lot quicker. You know, what do you think about maybe doing an ensemble? So at the time, we were meeting with the Scotts very regularly.
Okay.
So it was kind of a no-brainer. We were like, oh, yeah, we know some people that, you know, we'd like to, you know, bring on board with this. And so it kind of went from there, and here we are now with a show on OWN.
Awesome. And, I mean, it's a great show. I mean, you love each couple, you know, and one thing about you and your husband, you all have been very transparent with a lot of things that have happened, you know, in your marriage. Was it easy doing that, or was, you know, how did you decide what to share and what not to share?
Well, you know, I feel that going through something in your relationship, whether it's infidelity or anything else, you know, it's always tough to deal with anyway.
Okay.
Definitely dealing with it on a national platform made it a little bit tougher. But we're very glad that we were transparent. We've always been individuals who feel like, you know, things that we go through is to help someone else.
Right.
There's a purpose behind it, whether we see it then at the time while we're going through the trial, we don't necessarily see it.
Yeah.
But we know that everything is leading to a purpose, right?
Yeah.
And so for us, we said we want to be able to share this and be able to allow others who are going through it or who have been through it to know that it's not just you and you're not alone.
Right.
We could have gotten, you know, on national TV and put on a big
exactly.
And acted like we weren't going through anything. But who does that help?
Exactly.
So for us, we made a decision that we wanted to be transparent. Now, how much we put out, now I'm going to be honest, the first 10 minutes you think about the cameras being there, honey, but after about 10 minutes, you forget that
that's what everyone says.
So y'all, there you go. So y'all get what you get after that, okay?
Yeah. Everyone says that. They said that you get used to the cameras and just like, you know, it's regular everyday living. When you watch the show back, especially when you know some of the arguments you and your husband have had, which all couples, you know, have those. Does it bring back those old feelings, or is it? How do you all, when you watch it, what's kind of going through you all's process? You know, watching it back.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, you know, it does kind of, I would say, trigger certain things whenever we watch it. I would say I feel like on Fridays, I'm excited that the next day is Saturday and to watch this show.
Yeah.
My husband is like, oh, shit.
Right.
So he don't know what mail he's going to get after the show.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we may get it, you know, I may get in my feelings for a moment, but then I kind of get over it because it is all history. It's all in the past.
Right.
You know, of course, you guys are seeing it much.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, we try our best to definitely live in our now versus our
Good. And I know, because I'm sure you get a lot of people tweeting you or, you know, in your comments on Instagram, you know, commenting on the show.
Yeah.
Do you... So the fact that you all know this was filmed months ago, and you know, you've come through that, when they are commenting on what we're seeing, you know, real time, how do you handle that?
Most of the time, I really don't respond. Like, I
That's
don't go
good.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't go on YouTube looking at reviews and getting engaged in, you know, different conversations.
Yeah.
Now, if someone comes directly on my page, I may choose to engage. However, you know, I'm understanding to the point that they're seeing it. You guys are seeing it right now.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
So for you don't really know. You don't really get it. So I try not to take it very personal. I get that you're seeing it right now. And so, for the most part, though, especially my husband, you know, we try to stay out of the reviews and the blogs and the groups. All these groups pop up.
Exactly.
And, you know, we just try to stay clear of all of that and continue to focus on the end goal
Yeah.
and what it is that we're trying to do as a family.
Exactly. And so you and your husband, you work very close together, obviously. How is that like, you know, because we ask the question of the day a lot on our show, and one of them is, could you work with your significant other? How is it like working with your husband?
So I have a phrase that I use regularly.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm always putting up quotes, motivational quotes
Yeah.
on Instagram and my Facebook page. And I say that there's nothing greater doing what you love than with who you love.
That's true.
Doing what you love with who you love.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to working with your significant other, there's going to be, you know, moments where you're seeing things the same, some moments you're not, but that's with that's in any work environment.
That's
right?
true. Yep.
I think the key is being able to know when to turn work off.
Yeah.
And making sure that any argument or disagreement, different viewpoints that you may have in the office, that you don't take that into home.
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest challenge. You know, we've been in business together now for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So for us, we've kind of learned how to master that thing. But I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, it was tough.
I can imagine, yeah.
When I got home, I wanted to be like, you scoot on over, and he probably wanted to be like, you scoot on over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keeping it real.
Yeah.
But because, you know, we hung in there, we knew that some of the positives, you know, we typically have the same goal. We have the same vision for our family. We have the same vision when it comes to our business. So it's great to have someone that you're working with, and you're kind of, you know, you may not choose or think that you should go the same route to get to the end, but you know that you're both trying to get to the same ending. That's major.
Yeah, that is.
That is major, right?
Yeah.
We're both trying to get to that same end when it comes to the business. And so for us, like I said, it's nothing greater or better than doing what you love with who you love. We don't worry about, okay, is she or he trying to take money from you?
Right,
inside?
yeah, you trust each other.
You know, when you're in business partnerships, you just never know. But we don't have to worry about that because it all goes into the same cookie jar and all comes out the same cookie jar.
Exactly. I love it. So I've interviewed a lot of people who have been on reality shows, and I remember there was one guy in particular, I won't say his name, but he actually worked out at my gym, and so that's how I met him. And he was telling me how he tried to play up to the cameras, and it really backfired on him because it didn't show him for what he was trying to show, and it showed him in a bad light. And I know a lot of people, they complain about the editing. You know, once you shoot the show and then they go to the editing, and once it's out, a lot of times like that's not really how I am. Do you feel like that what we see is a good depiction of who you are?
I definitely feel like what you guys see is a good depiction of who I am.
Good, okay.
But everybody sees things out of their own lenses.
That's true.
What I saw, I watched it. You know, when I watched the show, I saw me, male. Yep, strong.
Yep.
Yep, business-minded. Yep, hard worker. Yeah, doesn't bite her tongue much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what you see is what you get.
Yep. Yep.
So for me, I feel like, you know, hey, what y'all saw is what it is.
Yeah.
I never felt like, oh my gosh, they just made, you know, twisted stuff up or edited it
Good.
in a way where
Yeah.
it looked terrible. No, I never felt like that. At the end, people would be like, so girl, were there things you wish you had said that you didn't say? I'm like, nope, everything that y'all saw that I said, I'm glad I said it, and that's what I meant, and that's what I said.
Good, yeah.
So, you know, I mean, so yeah, for me, I feel like the producers did a great job. They edited it very well. And I can say that in terms of all the cast members, I feel like overall, what you guys saw, that's what it is in real life.
Good.
No one put on. Like, what y'all saw is really what it is.
Yeah. In terms of Huntsville, now I know that that's where you are. Obviously, that's where the show's shot. Why was it important for you to put that city on the map?
So for me, I'm not from Huntsville, but my husband is.
Okay.
I've been here since 2004. I'm from a very, very small town called Brundage, Alabama. Whoop, whoop.
Okay, yeah.
But I came up to Huntsville in 2004, and I can remember visiting Huntsville before I graduated high school and started college, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I love this. And I heard people talk about how Huntsville was a great place for blacks to be successful.
Yeah.
There are so many successful blacks in Huntsville. So that intrigued me, and that played a part in me choosing to attend the Alabama A&M University.
Okay.
And so, you know, after living here for years, I saw that what people said was definitely accurate and was true and was real. And right now, Huntsville is going through a major boom in real estate, just with the economy in general. We have so many major industries, who are really just placing their marks here. We've got Aerojet coming, Facebook, Toyota, Mazda. The FBI just announced they're going to be having some major things happening here as well. I mean,
wow.
Huntsville is just that kind of a city, and I wanted to definitely give, change the mindset of what that people have when it comes to Alabama. Most people think, farm. And don't get me wrong, you can go 20 miles up the road and you'll see a farm, I'm sure, okay? Don't get me wrong, but I wanted people to see that there's more than just that.
That's important, too.
So that was important.
Yeah.
That was important for Martell and I.
Yeah, because when I watched the show, I'm like, that's Huntsville? Okay, because I've never been to Huntsville. So seeing this, like, it was like a beautiful place to, to raise a family, like you said, successful black people. Yeah. And so you're on the show, and it has 3 couples and 3 successful couples. And, everyone's at a good age. They're not, they're young. How does it feel representing that, powerful, black, young, successful couples?
Well, I feel, I can only speak for myself and, maybe my husband as well, because these are conversations we have. We're the youngest out of the couple.
Yeah.
And I'm the youngest out of the whole group.
Exactly.
I'm 33, and I think the next one is 37.
Okay.
So I think it's definitely important for us to be able to display and showcase what young black success looks like.
Exactly.
And what young black excellence looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, that's what it's all about. We wanted the young people to be able to see what you can really gain from being a business owner. My husband and I have this phrase where we say in T-shirts, even where we're like, I'm not a rapper. If on the front it says, I'm not a rapper, I'm not an athlete. On the back it says business owner with a check mark.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to show, hey, a very small percentage of people make it into the NBA. A very small percentage of people make it to the NFL. But let's talk about how much money you can make if you invent something, or if you are a business owner and you sell that business, right?
Right.
So that's what it's about for us.
That's awesome. I know the Comeback Group. That's what it's called, right? The Comeback Group. You all. I know you all have. Sometimes you have disagreements, but one thing I really love about that you all is that.
Sometimes.
Right. I know every meeting. How's it? But I think.
Hey, and let me tell you, that's all real too. Like when y'all heard in episode 1, I think my husband mentioned in the confessional, we would have all these meetings all the time.
Yeah.
They last for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right.
Literally.
I don't blame him.
Got time for that.
I don't blame him.
So,
because you're busy.
What you guys see is definitely real.
Yeah. So, what is the status now? You all still working together? You still doing your thing? The Comeback Group?
So the initiative of the Comeback Group was to revitalize a side of Huntsville that has been typically overlooked over the years.
Okay.
And so all of us are doing different things still in that side of the community to make impact there. And that's for us, that's what it's about. That's what the mission of the Comeback Group is.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be able to go into that area, make impact by people who look like the people who live there.
Exactly.
So you can't sit back and wait. You can't sit back and wait on politicians and waiting on, the government or anything like that. We have to get out and make a difference in our community.
Exactly.
And that's what the entire mission of the Comeback Group is about.
That's awesome. So, in closing, what do you want people when this season ends? Well, first of all, do we have a season 2 coming? Do we know that?
I tell people fingers crossed and prayers up.
Yeah, definitely.
Season 2 has not been greenlit.
Okay.
We're still waiting to hear about that. But the good thing is that, I would say it's looking very promising just because so many people like you and others were tuning in. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. To the fans, we love y'all.
Definitely.
So we're definitely, like I said, fingers crossed and prayers up that
most definitely.
we will get a season 2.
Most definitely. So what do you want us to know about you, just as fans and people who watch the show, viewers who watch the show? What do you want us to know about you? Our takeaway after this show.
Well, I want you guys to know and see that hey, while as women we wear so many hats, and while
y'all do.
have to be strong from day to day, and we have to deal with certain challenges that come our way that sometimes make us get into emotional states that maybe we wish we didn't have to go through or experience. I want you guys to know that it's okay. Like, it's okay not to be superwoman every moment of the day. It's
right.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a boss and still have times when you have to address your emotions, your feelings, any hurt, any pain, any disappointment. It doesn't make you any weaker. It doesn't make you, like, oh, something's wrong with me. No, it's okay. And that's really what I really want people. I was hoping that people will be able to see that, yes, Melody is so strong. Melody is business savvy. But at the same time, wow, Melody is still just a woman.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want the takeaway to be.
That's awesome. Well, listen, I love that you are everything I thought you would be. You like what I see on TV is what I get in this interview. I really appreciate it. Tell everyone, I know that you're on social media. You have a lot of followers. Where can people keep up with you?
Yes, please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Melody, Melody S. Holt, Holt, and I am on Twitter, Melody S. Holt 1. So I usually try to respond to people when I can, but feel free to follow me and keep up, stay up to date with everything that we have going on. We're working on some major, major things. And like I said, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Love and Marriage Huntsville seen on OWN. Check your local listings. Melody Holt, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you and your husband nothing but continued success.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, na, na. Oh, na, na. Oh, na, na, na. There's a time when it gets cold, wind blows, get rough, feel you may not have enough strength to carry on. Be strong, so you know rain causes you to grow. Every day is like falling leaves from branches of a tree. You'll reap a harvest in due time, you'll see. As this world spins around, some things are meant to be. Don't let it get you down. Today's the tomorrow you are so concerned with. Yesterday, seize the day. Seasons come and go like rain and snow. Winter takes all. When you fall, spring back up again. Summer days are good, some are bad. When you feel sad, just remember what goes around. Like tonight we'll be alone. No interruptions from the phone. You got my body feeling eager, dripping like I got a fever. Yeah. No distractions will occur, 'cause you know what I prefer. Those famous three letters. Ooh, you and I gon' do it right. Ooh, you and I, what else two gon' do tonight? We don't get it in, 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 get it in. Hey, we're gonna do it over and over. I'll have your legs within my shoulder. Hey, babe, you are the business. So let the neighbors witness how we put it down like this. From the bedroom to the kitchen, your love's like high definition. It's gonna be you and I for the rest of our lives. Those simple three letters go so ham together. Ooh, you and I gon' do it right. Ooh, you and I, what else two gon' do tonight? We don't get it in, 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 get it in. Break it down, yeah.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going?
It's going well, Stephen. How are you guys?
Cannot complain. Have a good weekend?
Yeah. You know, the weather was got better. Not perfect up here, but you know, summer's coming, or spring at least, and daylight savings times meant we got a little more sunlight, so I liked it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you and Chike take it away with movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I, this weekend, actually went to see a movie I've been meaning to see for a long time, for the past few months, and it's a documentary called They Shall Not Grow Old. And I don't know if you've heard much about it or when it was released, but it is a documentary about World War I, directed, or I should say composed by Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings fame, and it takes never-before-seen footage that they got from the Imperial War Archives and created a narrative of these British soldiers who signed up for the First World War and got their audio footage, so it's actually them doing the commentary, the actual soldiers, and the footage of them, and he went in with his whole team and colorized it. So it gives you a kind of that story, and this is the, you know, or last year was the 100th anniversary of the end of the First World War, And this movie really gives a perspective of what the soldiers were like. You know, we see a lot of World War II documentary footage, and even that's mostly in black and white, and there's some color footage. But this really gives the perspective and humanizes a war that I think a lot of us don't know much about. You know, it happened so long ago, World War II. It definitely gets more of the coverage. And it just gives what happens during their lives, how life was on the Western Front, how trench warfare was, how the tanks were, and things like that. And overall, it was pretty good. If you're a war buff and if you like war documentaries, I would highly recommend it. I will say it does. There's no narrative per se. There's no kind of overall plot. You know, you're just hearing these soldiers' accounts during the war. So it does kind of lag at parts for kind of the normal moviegoer. But again, a great job of just the hundreds and hundreds of hours they put together to kind of go through all this footage, colorize it, and get the audio to sound crisp and clean. And again, highly recommend if you're a documentary fan and especially a war fan.
Cool. Do you see any awards for that one in the future? Was it that good?
Well, so it got the BAFTA, which is the British Film Award for Best Documentary.
Nice.
I don't know if it was up for one this year with the Oscars, but it's definitely, and you know, of course, since the United States got into it so much later, this war was definitely a bigger deal for people from the British Empire. So a lot of Australians, Canadians, New Zealanders, and the British people really like it. So it was definitely really big there. I mean, and I don't really go by Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not a big fan of the website, but it is a 99% rating. So I think, you know, the critics really liked it as well.
Nice. So I went to go see the blockbuster Captain Marvel, which brought in $455 million globally, which actually toppled Wonder Woman for a weekend box office. And it actually exceeded what they thought that it was going to bring in. And it also broke the record. It is the 6th largest grossing movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the biggest box office of 2019. So thus far this year, Captain Marvel is the biggest movie. I said it toppled Wonder Woman in the box office thus far. I wasn't that pleased. Saying all of that, I wasn't that pleased. As a Marvel fan, I don't know what I was looking for. I wasn't pleased. It could have had more action. I think that, me personally, this is Chike of the Steven Knight Show speaking, I think that this movie was relying on the laurels of Marvel. I think that in my opinion, I think that it got through a little bit just because of the Marvel name. And that because it had that boost at the end of the last movie, the last Avengers movie, Infinity War, it helped. It was like a pre-promo. And then the fact that it is a Marvel movie, and I think a lot of people went into it thinking that it was going to be a piece of the movie to come, or they were going to get a glimpse of something. No, I don't know. It just didn't click with me. I actually took some friends with me to go see it, and I actually bought a ticket. And I will tell you that I bought 3 tickets, and I paid over $50. And I saw it in 3D because I wanted the full experience. And at the end of it, I didn't feel like it was worth it. Sorry.
Okay.
I could have actually watched that at home and felt better in my living room watching that movie. And I'm not being too much. Like, I'm really not trying to be funny, but like I've been saying this for months. I need Hollywood to step their game up. And I think I said this before, but I'm actually getting a little bored with the superhero movies. It's like they found a formula and they're working the hell out of it, and we keep buying into it. Like, step your game up. Do something different. Change the game. What I do like about the DC movies, especially the whole Dark Knight series, that it was an interesting movie. Just an interesting movie itself, without the gimmicks, without the fanfare of all the other stuff. It was just an interesting movie. It was a great story and a lot. And it kept me more of that, not, lights, bells and whistles and, colors and CGI, and I don't need all that. Just give me a good, tight behind story and rock it out. Anyway, I'm done ranting on about it.
Well, due to its box office, I don't think they're going to stop making the Marvel movies. So.
Oh no, my little opinion, it won't matter. But when you see it, and I've did a little poll. I went around asking people that saw it, what do you think about it? It was okay. That was the response. It was okay. If I'm spending that much money, I need for it to not just be okay. Like, I need for it to wow me.
Yeah.
Wow me. Anyway, so I started a new series on Netflix called The Order. It's basically about the supernatural, some witchcraft. We have some mystical beings also in the midst. I'm not that far into it to really give you any more of it, but it piques my interest. I'm going to be watching. It's called The Order, and it's on Netflix. Check it out. And I started watching The Case Against Adnan Syed. That's a documentary that's on HBO. It's going to be in 4 parts. The first part is on. And this is a documentary of a real case with a young girl named Han Lee, and she was murdered. And the number one suspect is her boyfriend, Adnan Syed. And they had a really brief relationship, high school love, and the girl winds up missing. And then from her being missing, her body is found, and of course they find her murdered. She's actually strangled. And the number one suspect is the boyfriend, but the boyfriend is screaming his innocence to the top of his lungs, but he's currently doing it from in jail because he was found guilty. So this documentary follows the fight to get him out of jail as they're making the appeals. It kind of reminds me of Making of the Murderer a little bit, but this is set in Baltimore. And, Making of the Murderer was kind of like in the rural, it was in the Midwest, and it was a Caucasian man. This is actually a Middle Eastern young man of Muslim faith, and the young woman was actually Korean. And so in the inner city of Baltimore, it's interesting. I definitely want to get to the bottom of it. Just like I said, the first episode is on HBO now, and I can't wait for the rest to come out. These type of documentaries and like cases and who did it and why and conspiracy theories, I live for that. So if you like that type of genre in the film, of course it's a documentary. Check it out. And
sounds good.
I guess coming down the pike, I'm looking at that Captive State movie. Have you seen the previews for that?
Captive State, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen any of the trailers. It seems
so
like
basically, yeah, the premise is that the city of Chicago is being held captive from extraterrestrial beings, and they're not having it. Like they went out, and I guess the city's going to fight back. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. From the preview, from the trailer, it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it, and it has John Goodman, and I like anything he's in these days. So
yes, and he doesn't normally pick stupid projects. He doesn't pick dumb things to put himself into. Yeah. And there's another movie coming out called Bruce, and that's a comedy, and it's basically about a young artist, actor, writer, producer, director, who is also a con man, and he happens to be down on his luck, and he's going to have to either stop doing the cons and focus on his life and get it together, or perish. And this is a comedy. So I'm pretty interested in it. I want to check it out to see just about the story, like where they're going with this.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I'm all about the story.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that covers it.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for letting us know what to spend our money on and what not to. Have a great week. We'll talk next Monday.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, right back after this.
It's Monday morning, you look amazing. I just wanna help you to wake up and start your day off. Call me for just don't have to stress, girl, about that mess in your office. Cause I know that John at work been irking you. She mad, she ain't get that promotion too. She mad, she don't look as good as you. Oh, got a man as good as you do. Baby, I got you. And I'll make it easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning. And I'll make it easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning. Hey, cause that's what your man is for, holding your door, grabbing them bags out the car, getting some shit out the cabinet, sending you good morning text when you mad at me. I make it easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning, baby. It's Monday morning, you look amazing. I just wanna keep you beside me. Can you call out, please? I'll make it worth it. I'll make it perfect. Don't you get dressed, you know what's next. I promise I'ma take you places you've never been. Right now, lay there, I'ma stare at you. Cause I ain't never seen something so beautiful, and I wanna take real good care of you. Baby, I got you. And I'll make it easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning. And I'll make it easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning. Hey, cause that's what your man is for, holding your door, grabbing them bags out the car, getting some shit out the cabinet, sending you good morning text when you mad at me. I make it easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning, baby. So what you need from me? Cause baby, I can be everything you could ever imagine so easily. You made me wanna put my phone down, give all my attention up to you now. Whatever you need me to do, I can take all that and stress over you. Easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning. And I'll make it easy like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning. Hey, cause that's what your man is for, holding your door, grabbing them bags out the car, getting some shit out the cabinet, sending you good morning text when you mad at me. I make it. What are you doing? Hello?
I'm so sorry, man. I apologize. Okay, well, I
like Sunday morning, even on Monday morning, baby.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Janera, how's it going?
Great. How are you, Steven?
Can't complain. You celebrated a birthday last week. How was it?
I did. It was, it was good. I have a lot of family stuff going on, so I wasn't even able to do anything really for it. But
okay.
It was okay. I can't really,
right.
Can't really complain about it. It was okay.
Well, so. Okay. Well, we wish you happy birthday on the show, but happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Well, they got some great things for us, so I'll let you take it away.
I do. Thank you. Well, I want to start off with Banana Republic. They're having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get an extra 50% off of everything in the store, and that includes their clearance items. The Limited is also having a sale on all of their clearance items, and they just have markdowns. There's no extra off, but they just added, the reason I'm talking about them today is because they just added tons of new markdowns to their clearance items.
Bloomingdale's is having a 16-hour flash sale today only and online only. And if you shop there now, you can get up to 70% on select styles. If you shop Express, you can buy one, get one 50% off of all jeans. If you shop Gap, you can get up to 50% off of thousands of styles. Victoria's Secret is having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can buy two, get one free on all bras. Also, you can buy two, get one free on all sleep tops and bottoms. Saks Fifth Avenue off Fifth is having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get up to 75% off of select styles. J. Crew is also having a sale, and if you shop there now, and this sale has been extended to today, so today is going to be the last day that you can shop the sale. If you shop there now, you can get an extra 50% off of select styles, plus you can get 40% off of, you can get an extra 50% off of select sale styles. And if you shop there, and also you can get an extra 40% off of full price items. Shutterfly.com is having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get a free 8x8 photo book, plus you can get 40% off of everything else in the store. And if you're trying to get the photo book, you just have to use code BOOK4YOU at checkout. The Children's Place is having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get up to 60% off of select styles. And last but not least, Carter's is having a sale, and if you shop there now, you can get two-piece sets for just $8.
Nice. They can find all that at budgetshopaholic.com, correct?
They surely can.
All right. Well, thank you as always, and you have a great week.
Okay, you do the same. Thank you, Steven.
All right. Right back after this.
All night long, 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 she all on me. Tell her, come get this, she follow me. Tell me what you came for. Did you come to play with it? Did you come to be my bad girl? Hey, damn it, be ashamed, gripping on your waist. Go ahead now. We grinding, we wildin', cause we don't care. We wildin', we rubbing like no one's here. If I push up on it, will you go there? Trust me, you'll go there. All night long, she all on me. Tell her, come get this, she follow me. All night long, she all on me. When she want that, she call on me. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. 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 Back up one time, tuck it back on it. Back up one time, tuck it back on it. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that. Tell me, can you handle it? Tell me right now before we walk out this club, girl. Hey, baby, where your hands? Thought you had a man, no damn, baby. We grinding, we wildin', cause we don't care. Hey. We wildin', we rubbing like no one's here. Wait, if I push up on it, will you go there? Hey, baby, trust me, you'll go there. All night long, she all on me. Tell her, come get this, she follow me. All night long, she all on me. When she want that, she call on me. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. 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 Back up one time, tuck it back on it. Back up one time, tuck it back on it. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. All night long, she all on me. Tell her, come get this, she follow me. All night long, she all on me. When she want that, she call on me. All night long, she 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 all night long. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. 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 Back up one time, tuck it back on it. Back up one time, tuck it back on it. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl. I'ma get that girl, let's get that girl.
Well, that's our show. I want to thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you to Melody Holt for joining us. For more information about her and our love and marriage, Huntsville, go to our website, thestevennightshow.com. Have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you again next Monday. Good night.
Tonight as long as on me, everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty, pretty, pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand to the floor.